Hello and welcome to Time Between Times Storytelling with me, Owen Staton. Welcome once again to the land of tales. Welcome to the time of tales, the time between times, the time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. Outside the sun is shining, but we are here where the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer thin. For those of you who are interested, you may want to listen to my audio podcast, now available where all podcasts are found. Time Between Times Storytelling with Owen Staton. You don't have to see my face. But for those of you who are here, sit back, close your eyes, relax, and let your mind wander. Let all your worries and all your cares disappear as we reach into the realm of stories, where tales are told. Poems are performed, songs are sung. And today we have a special tale, a tale from far away, but a tale that's close to my heart. A tale that was given to me by some friends of the channel, but I will thank them later. So sit back, close your eyes, and welcome to the Time Between Times. Where we are, the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer thin. So thin that for just a few moments we can reach into their realm. For a few moments they can reach into ours. This is the time that people see ghosts. This is the time that people see lights in the sky. This is the time that people see fairies. This is the time between times. Far away we can hear the howl of wolves, we can hear the growl of bears, but we know we are safe right here. Let us go far away, across the sea, to the land that is now called Germany. And there in the middle of Germany there is a great river, the River Rhine, that is the heart, the beating heart of that country. It flows through the land, and for centuries traders, travellers, tellers of tales would travel the Rhine. But there in the middle of the Rhine there was an island, and on that island there was a tower. And from that tower and inside that tower there lived a cruel man called Hatto. He was a bishop, he was a lord, and he was a cruel man. Bishop Hatto would put all his crossbowmen and his archers in the tower, and he would aim at all the ships who passed unless they paid him a toll. Night or day he accrued his money in his tower, until it was said the bottom half of it was filled with gold, but his greed knew no bounds. Queues of ships and boats would stop there to pay their tolls to the evil man. And one winter, when it became so cold that even the Rhine started to freeze, Hatto filled his tower with all the food he could find and sold it to the peasants for the highest price. Eventually, they grew angry. Eventually, they started to gather. Eventually, they sailed over in a delegation to the tower and hammered on the door, demanding entrance. He said, "No, you can buy food from me, but if you cannot, then you must starve." The peasants went away, and every night as the sun fell and the night came down like a shroud, Hatto would look across from his tower, and there on the other side of the Rhine he would see them all gathered with their fires and their pitchforks ready for him. The commander of his guards came to him and said, "We are going to leave, for there are only few of us and there are many peasants, and we cannot believe that you are holding all the food." So Hatto came up with a plan. He would not have any peasants tell him what to do. So under cover of darkness, he took all the food, rowed across the river, and hid it in a barn. He then said to the peasants, "Come to the tower, come to the tower. I have food aplenty for you leaders." The peasant leaders came across the river in a boat. He took them into the tower, down to the cellars where he kept his food, said, "Take what you want. It's yours." As they went down the stairs, Hatto watched them go, and as the last one passed within the door, he slammed it behind them. And then he set the place ablaze. They threw down fire, they threw down smoke, they threw down everything they could into the cellar until it burned and burned, and Hatto laughed as he heard the screams of the peasant leaders. They will not defy me again, he said. Under cover of darkness, he rode back across, gathered the food to bring back to the tower. As he came back, he could smell the smoke. He could see the dying embers of the blaze. He said to one of his men, "I can't hear the mice squeak any more, can you?" For the screams had stopped. Hatto arrived at the tower, waited for the flames to die down, then opened the door. Smoke covered him, and he looked down into the cellar. The charred remains of the peasant leaders were there. But there was something else. For crawling on the floor, he saw one mouse, then 2, then 10. And suddenly the stairs, the floor seemed to move as mice rose from the bottom of the tower. Hatto looked down and saw the mice covering his feet and started to bite and nip at him. Terrified, he rushed to his boat, jumped inside and started to row for the shore. He looked back at the tower and the mice were pouring out like a river. This godless man started to row for the other side, back and forth as hard as he could. And as he looked back to the tower, the mice were running out of the cellar like a river, and there pouring into the Rhine until the water turned black. And although they drowned in their thousands, the mice carried on, chasing the bishop as he made his way across the waters, until the boat bumped at the other side of the Rhine, and he leapt onto the ground and started to rush for the village, calling to all the people, "Help me, help me!" But nobody came to his aid. And as he rushed up the bank of the river, the mice reached the bank themselves. This great black tide of mice that swarmed all over him. As he scrambled up the bank, he could feel them running up his legs, running up his back, until they pulled him to the ground and started to bite and nip at him, until eventually the mice devoured Hatto the bishop, there on the banks of the Rhine. Some of the peasants who saw it looked back at the waters, and all the mice just floated away with the river. And the tower still stands to this day, and is known as the Mouse Tower. They whetted their teeth against the stones, and now they pick at Bishop's bones. They gnawed his flesh and every limb, for they were sent to punish him. Even now, as boats pass the island where the tower stands, it is said that they can see mice running across the floor, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands, sometimes none at all. And that cellar at the bottom of the tower is always closed, for all are fearful to open its doors to see what will come out. But the tower on the Rhine is forever known as the Mouse Tower. That, my friends, is a tale from Germany. And I have to thank my friends Marcel and Jagoda for giving me that tale, and for their friendship over the last few months. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you for joining me for a brief time at the time between times. I hope you like these videos. Please leave a comment, please subscribe, please like, and please check out the new podcast. I will be most grateful. Have a good week. Stay safe. Be kind. Look after yourselves. And join me here again next week at the time between times. Time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun is gone. The sky is grey. No star.